Hi, guys. It is Tami Butler here with The Business of Love, your faith based clinical sexologist, here on another episode of Walk With Me. And I'm happy to say today we're actually walking. I'm actually walking. As some of you may know, if you've been following any of my episodes over the past few months since I started this, I had surgery on my foot. So it was a little comical when the Lord asked me to do a YouTube channel and a program called Walk With Me because I wasn't able to walk. Literally, I was on crutches and in house shoes and really not being able to get outside and walk. So now I am back to walking, and I'm going to see if I can show you this a little bit. This is Cherry Creek State Park in Colorado. It's in the southern Denver metro. Let me see if I can circle around. The sun's going to come down a little bit, but it's very bright right now. Those are the Rocky Mountains in the background, guys. I mean, this video does not do this place justice because it is just so breathtakingly beautiful. Okay, so here is on to my message today. Now that I'm taking you on the tour of Cherry Creek. This is the dog park section of it, actually. And my dog is running around amongst others. But all things truth be told, I want to talk to you about the divide in your marriage. And I see this all the time. You know, people meet, they fall in love. Oh, they're head over heels for each other, and they're priority number one in each other's life. And no matter who comes at them, oh no, nothing's breaking up this duo. But what happens is over time, as those hormones start to calm down and your rational mind, that part of your physical brain that's now not on a love-induced cocktail, is starting to calm down as you become familiar with one another. And so maybe, you're starting to notice their imperfections that, why didn't I see that before? Have you ever met someone like that? And you just, you think, well, maybe it's the person, but no, the familiarity is kicking in. And that's why you're starting to see how this person is not perfect. And so this is how people can become serial daters, because they can't sustain a long relationship, because when they start seeing that other person's imperfections, which very real, then it's not so exciting and appealing to them anymore. So they move on and get a different partner, only to go through the same thing again. Although the serial daters, quite honestly, have figured out that they cut it off before it gets to that point. So this can happen. And so if you take that type of mentality into your committed relationship with the person you've fallen in love with, it's going to be disaster. It really is. Because this divide that's taking place between you, all of a sudden, you're like this close to each other. And then all of a sudden, like, why are you so close? Why are you in my face? Is what you say to them. But really, familiarity has caused this great divide. So I want to share with you a couple things that you can do to lessen the great divide, because your relationship will be richer for it. So the first one is to realize that when you fell in love, your hormones were basically controlling your actions. So now that you're able to think in a rational place, a rational position about the situation, the relationship, just recognize that you're going to be looking at it through different colored glasses. And that's the bottom line of it. And if you're at the dating stages of your relationship, if it's just a deal breaker for you, you may not want to even proceed. But if you are in a committed relationship or married to your partner, then these are things that you're going to have to work through. So sometimes it's maybe not magnifying the imperfections in your partner, but actually elevating the things that you really like and enjoy about them. And you want to remind yourself of that. Maybe it's a piece of memorabilia that you have that will help you to, rekindle your brain, your thoughts. Sorry, I'm looking for my dog here. It'll help you to rekindle your thoughts on that person and to see them in a different light, especially when those imperfections start to creep up and hurt us. Maybe the communication got a little crazy and all of a sudden a word of some sort slipped out to your partner and, oh my gosh, never thought you'd say that to them. And then they're devastated and they're hurt because you actually said a word that was really not appropriate to the respect and love of your relationship. So things like this can be difficult. And if we replay those in our mind over and over, what begins to happen is we're actually creating grooves in our brain that will help us to recall that in an instant. So you want to replace the negative thoughts about your partner and their imperfections with something positive about them. And that can really help. And to actually visualize the positive about that person. So let me give you an example. So let's say, for instance, this is perfectly like for ladies, you're going to get me on this. Let's say you go into the bathroom and your man has forgot to put the toilet seat down. Yep. And you go smack dab plop into that toilet. Not so good. And when you get out of the bathroom, you very, very kindly and lovingly let him know what he has done. Now, it doesn't always come out so kind and loving. So now every time you go to the bathroom, you're going to think, did he leave the toilet seat up again? Did he really leave the toilet seat up again? And so you started to think every time you're going to the bathroom, yep, oh my gosh, and that feeds into the negative thought process and the neural pathways in your brain. But if you change it and say, ooh, you know what though? Oh, I remember the last time we took a shower together and ooh, he was looking fine. So what you need to do in that situation is train your brain every time you approach the bathroom to think about that moment, that happy place, that joyous thought you have of your partner. So that way you can actually rewrite your brain and have a better relationship with your partner and lessen the divide that's happened between you two. And this can happen with many things in our life. But in the end, if we accentuate the positives about our partner, because let's face it, man, woman, neither one of us is perfect and we're going to make mistakes and we're, it's like we're not always going to look perfect. We're not always going to be, like having everything in place meticulously. And gosh, I'm an organized person. I'm a very organized person. And sometimes, I'm not perfect either. Sometimes you might come into my car and see a cup that needs to get thrown out into the dirty basket. Even though it's rare, I do have to say, it's definitely something that can happen. So we have to have realistic expectations about our mates, because when we first met them, we put them on a pedestal and we thought they were so amazing. And I want you to be encouraged to know that your mate can still look amazing to you. They can still be amazing to you. They can still have that place in your heart that they've always had. And as time goes on, it even gets bigger. Oh, this is my dog. See my dog? This is Kingston. Hi, Kingston. Say hello to everybody. He's having such a great time here. So reframe it. Take it from something very negative or imperfect about your partner and think of a time that really brings you joy with your partner from that environment or that circumstance in some way. And I think that you will find that this is one of the ways that you can bridge the great divide with your partner on just about any issue that you would tackle. So I'm going to let y'all go for today. I'm going to continue on the path. Let me see if you can see it. You see it? He's already walking it. He's ahead of me, gone ahead. He says, Mom, I'm out of here. So I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you coming by and listening to this podcast. And I really encourage you to hit the subscribe button, like it, and of course, share it with your friends, because my heart is really to help you improve the intimate aspect of your marriage, have great sex, and get to forever. And the forever is quite honestly the most important part. And getting there healthy, happy, satisfied with your relationship and where it's at. I'm Tami Butler with The Business of Love, your faith-based clinical sexologist. Do pop over to my website, www.itsthebusinessoflove.com, and I would love to work with you. And feel free to leave some comments, and I'll see you next time on Walk With Me. Bye-bye.